Yeah, it's the Rap Radar Podcast. My name is B-Dot.
Elliot Wilson.
Elliot, we're still international, man.
International run?
I mean, listen, we had Drake. We had Dave, Burna Boy. And who we got now?
Stormzy, man.
The Storms is coming, man.
Heavy as the head with that crown. You know I like that crown,
I know
man.
you do.
It's a pleasure to have him on here, man. British Giant, man, on the Glastonbury stage, man. Now he's going to be right here.
I saw him, man. He's got a lot to talk about. The album's fire. He has Banksy behind him.
Woo.
It's a conversation that needs to be had.
Let's get into it, man. You know how we do every single time, man. Best conversations out here, man.
Rap Radar Podcast.
Yeah.
Lighters up, one time lighters up. Pulled up in the party when you saw me, I was lighting up my J. So go ahead and brighten up my day. Lighters
We
in
got
the
Big
air,
Michael in the building.
Yeah,
Come on,
Stormzy,
man.
baby.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having
First of all,
me.
cheers to the success,
Cheers,
man.
cheers, and cheers to your birthday as well.
Thank you,
Come
brother.
on, man.
YN49, baby.
Come on, man.
Success tastes different, man.
Exactly.
It's way different.
And it's different when you have a successful second album, man. I've seen a lot of artists, man.
Thank
in
God.
this game,
Yeah,
Stormzy.
Yeah. Thank
When
God.
they get to that second album, there's a little thing called the sophomore jinx.
Oh, is that what you guys call it? We call it the difficult second album. Back home. Yeah. Literally, it's called like the difficult second album. But yeah.
And you said, I saw somewhere you said this was a very painstaking process to put this album together, but it was rewarding.
Yeah,
How
100%.
was you able to like overcome the difficulties?
Loads of different ways. I got an amazing team, like an incredible team of people who support and help me through things. God, of course, like first and foremost. And yeah, God. To be honest, I think God. Like I always say, the fact that I managed to get to the other side of it is. I look back and I say, "Rah, you actually did it!" Like I actually look back and I say, "I did it!" Like because recording the album, amongst all the other things I was doing and amongst a lot of things I was going through, was a heavy task. You know what I mean? There was times I was thinking, "Bruv, when's this fucking album gonna be?" Do you know what I mean? But I got there and I look back and I say, "Yeah, that's the grace of God in it." So yeah.
But it's interesting because a lot of times artists take, they put out mixtapes and EPs in between, but you really didn't take that approach.
Man. Nah, I'm never like I'm done. I'm always gonna. To be fair, who knows what the future holds in it? But I want to be. Do you know what it is? I look at your Kanye's and your Jiggers and I say it looks. You know, like when you look back and it's just album, moment in time. I want that for myself. Do you know what I mean? So I always want to be. I always want to have albums. Albums is my thing. Yeah, bodies of work.
Why was Heavy as the Head the perfect title for this body of work?
For me, it was the most fitting title because it was literally, and I always say this, I always want my albums to be embodiments of like my truth or like a reflection of myself at the time or a reflection of who I am. And Heavy as the Head was like in terms of how I was feeling at the time, it was literally these two extremes of the spectrum where I would have days where, bruv, ask them, like, I'll wind you up in terms of, I could play you my song back to back and I'll be in your face like, this is the fucking what? Did you hear what I said? I'll rewind it back and say, you dumb, did you hear what I said? What? Yeah. I'm the fucking GOAT. You're crazy. Like what?
Bruv, you hear this, bruv?
Like, bruv, you got mad. I'm the fucking, like, and I have days of like extreme confidence and like very like royal in my kingship and like very confident. And then on the other side of things, like, there's days I don't want nothing to do with like this Stormzy shit or my career. I don't want nothing to do with it. And for me, it was always like a very like difficult thing, understanding that these things can coexist inside me. Do you know what I mean? I always used to think, bruv, how can I be that person and that person? It doesn't make sense. It used to confuse me. And then with Heavy as the Head, it was like just an embracement of all of those things. It was me saying, yo, like, heavy is the head because you're the king and like you're on it, but heavy is the head because it's fucking difficult, innit? So yeah, it was the perfect embodiment of both of those things. You know what I mean? It was the perfect balance of like vulnerability and kingship and poignance and the kind of, I always play that kind of line in terms of soft, hard. You know what I mean? Like in your kind of like.
I saw in a previous
terms.
interview that you said that you're the voice of Black youth.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure with that title?
Yeah, I think there's a natural pressure. I don't think it's like, do you know what it is? I'm cool with the pressure. Like that's a lot of the time. Sometimes I forget that. Hang on, I wouldn't. No one's asked me to do this. Do you know what I mean? I've stepped into these roles. I've stepped into these duties. Sometimes unknowingly, I've done a few things and it's like, okay, well, I'm here now. But I'm very happy to be this person. So yeah, I think there is pressure, but it's cool. It's what like it's my purpose. I have purpose. I thank God for purpose. I know like with the purpose makes the pressure way lighter because it's like this is what I got to do. So yeah. But on Crown I say I'm the voice of the young black youth, and then I say yeah, cool, and then I bum my zoo. So it's the literal, it's literally
And
heavy as the
that
head.
means you
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
take a little relief
Like
with the little
it's
smoke.
Literally, so it's heavy. That's me saying, yo, like this, like I'm the voice of the like I'm that person, and I'm thinking, get the fuck out of here, that bruv. I just smoke my bud, and I don't want nothing to do with it. So
Because with the success you had, you did two key moves to me. You started a book company, right?
Yeah.
Murky Books.
Yeah.
And your own scholarship program.
Yeah.
Can you talk about each thing and like why was that important for you once you got empowered and once you started being in a position to help to make those things happen?
Yeah, defo. So Murky Books and we got a Cambridge scholarship, and both of them was basically back home, and it's probably similar issues here, but like Britain's relationship with blackness is it's a very strange thing where, for example, books and reading and literature and academia, do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time we don't often, do you know what I mean? We're not synonymous with that, do you know what I mean? And I was thinking, are you crazy? Like I've read books all my life. Like I was very smart in school. I know so many other amazing young black geniuses, intellects, or whatever you want to call it. And I was thinking, I think it will be great if I get to this stage of my in my thing, and it's not the rapper thing, it's not the footballer thing, it's not the entertainment, sports. I was like, we've got incredible blackness in like academia. Do you know what I mean? So I thought that would be like, I kind of like, it's like a bit of a private joke. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hang on. Like, you thought this black shit was just like rappers and like footballers? No, hang on, you're crazy. Like we got authors and we got poets and we got all these other things. So I just really love to celebrate that as well, because I always say there's black Britishness, there's blackness, and often in the UK especially we limit it to the rapper, the entertainer, and I said no, we can't do that. There's a whole plethora of things, even down to theatre, down to literature, down to every different, do you know what I mean? Department of, there's ballet, there's there's so many different things, do you know what I mean? And I said, we can't just act like blackness is this one thing. Blackness isn't just Stormzy or just Raheem Sterling, it's this wide spectrum of things. So with Murky Books and the scholarship, it's just kind of shining the light.
So I had to piss you off when people were calling the scholarship racist then, right?
Yeah. Do you know, at first it shocked me. At first, there's been a few times in my career, because I'm someone that like I always say I know what I'm doing. Like I'm very like headstrong. I know what I'm doing. I know the ramifications of whatever move I make.
Right.
But with the scholarship, that blindsided me. I can't lie. I thought, like, I remember getting ready to announce it, thinking, bruv, this is gonna be an incredible day.
Everyone's
Like
gonna
we
say
got
how great it is.
Like, and don't get twisted. I always say we got the majority of people. That's who we got to focus on. We're saying beautiful things, amazing, and but there was there was a big section of people like, what? That's racist. What the fuck? Because
you're invested in black youth.
Yeah,
Right.
and obviously, and so I guess here in America, you guys are probably further forward in certain ways. I'm not saying you guys are any better, because you don't
got our
got
problems.
you don't
You know,
got a fuckload of problems over here. But like in the UK, blackness is a new thing relatively. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get twisted. Of course, there's been blackness from the beginning, but there's like it's a new thing in terms of like having. So even me saying it's a scholarship for black
That
kids,
assertion, kind of. That's what's new, right?
being unapologetic in my blackness
Dave
is
with his record,
exactly
black, like that energy.
Exactly, it's very like, wow, what the fuck, like, and it's very like alien
Scary,
and it's
yeah.
scary. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like for me to say I'm doing a scholarship for black kids, it was very confusing for a lot of like Brits, like, and they was like, how can it be just for black kids? And I did a lot of explaining that day. I was replying to people and I was like, listen, like the reason why it's for black kids is blah 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 blah. And till this day, recently it's even funny. There was and I think this was like a direct kind of like attack on Storms. Not even an attack on Storms, because the media will take them. It wasn't even an attack, but it was like a direct kind of like counter. I don't even know, but there was a scholarship offered to a school for white working class boys, but the school rejected it, saying like that they can't accept that, or something of the sort. And then it was, how can you accept Stormzy's scholarship for black kids, but you can't accept? And I was like, listen, there's so many conversations that we gotta have as to why my scholarship is not racist. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, we're a bit further back there. So
Speaking of accomplishment of a black man, you headlined Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Black British artist, man. I was privileged actually to be with Jay when he did his thing. The whole Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
Are they gonna throw bottles? Is it gonna be wild? Like the whole, like we didn't even know. But like I know you also used a little conversation you had with him before you came out. Like just unpack that night for us. Like what was going through your mind when you finally got to touch that stage?
Oh, it was that's like the greatest. It was incredible. I can't even explain. It was like.
Well, also something about the preparation. Like I saw, like you had said, you drew inspiration from Beyonce.
Yeah, 100%.
Coachella.
Beyonce is like. To be fair, don't get twisted. I take inspiration from, but in terms of like a set where I was like, yo, in terms of what it needs to mean to people, and in terms of it just needs to blow your mind. Like it was like, Beyonce at Coachella was that was the reference point. Till this day, I look at that performance, I say, bruv, that's. Flawless. It's undeniably flawless, phenomenal, incredible, all of those things. So with Glastonbury, it comes back to that thing of blackness, and it comes back to the thing of heavy is the head, in the sense of I knew with my Glasto set, me headlining Glastonbury, the most precious performance slot in the entire world, and I said, this is actually people's in the UK. This will be a lot of their first time seeing black art presented to them, which I was thinking, wow, that's a very mind-blowing thing. Like in terms of like they would have Jigga, Beyonce, Kanye, of course, but in terms of like a black Brit, like one of their own, this will be their first time seeing like black Britishness like presented to them, and I was like, wow, that's a big responsibility on my part. So I said, no, this has to be incredible, phenomenal, amazing, culturally important.
You see this vest?
Yeah. It had to be everything, because I was like, yo, this is me saying to the country, this is black Britishness. Yeah. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is we are the greatest entertainers on planet Earth, the greatest musicians on planet Earth, and this is what we do. And love it and respect it, please. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, it was. I felt like I was carrying the weight of like, my people and like the culture. And I don't throw a word. I hate to use the word culture. You know, culture gets used in a mad way nowadays. But I was like, yo, like this is that 15 minutes. And of course, you would know with Jay in terms of Glasto is they want their rock bands, they want their indie bands. They don't like your Jiggers and your Kanye's. They don't really like it. So I was like, okay, like I've got a. There was a lot of people kind of watching it. Like, plus I was one album deep. Then times I just had my first #1 song with Ossie Bop. So it was very easy to dismiss me as a headliner. But of course,
I'm gonna keep that crowd.
Exactly. They thought, how is he gonna do this? How is he gonna pull it off? So for me, it was a classic opportunity to kind of defy all the odds, like and just put on.
But there was a hiccup though, because you said your inner ears blew like twice.
They blew, but God is
inner ears. How your ears?
God is the greatest. Like God, listen, I was on that stage, and as much as it was the greatest night of my life, it was the greatest night of my life. I had my inner ears blew after about 25 minutes. So that's so it was an hour and a half performance. 25 minutes, my inner ears are blown. So like that's like an hour and 5 minutes of I can't hear nothing. As in all that was going through my head during that Glasgow performance was, bruv, I just wanted to break down and cry. I couldn't believe what was going on. My heart was just beating. I'm just trying to focus. Like I'm just going through it. Like, and then I just powered through. Luckily I'd rehearsed. So there's nothing I've been more prepared for than Glastonbury. Right. I was so prepared for that. There's nothing in my
technical difficulty. You just powered through.
I was so prepared for that show. I knew my steps. I knew where I was moving. I knew where to stand. I knew what I was saying. Like everything. So thank God, like muscle memory kicked in. Yeah. But I couldn't hear nothing. I'm just spitting. I'm just praying to God that the crowd can hear me. And all that's going through my mind at the time is, bruv, you've ruined this. You fucked this. Like, but on a deeper one, bruv, like on a deeper one, all that was going through my mind on stage was, bruv, we can laugh about it now, but back on stage, you know, I was planning like my disappearance, I was thinking, bruv, I'm gonna get slaughtered for this, as in the country's gonna slaughter me for this. Like, you lot let this little fucking idiot headline Glasto when he absolutely fucking.
Oh, you left the stage thinking you failed.
Yeah. Listen, when I got off stage, my bro flips over there, bruv. I broke down into, bruv. I smashed my pack. I just started crying. I was crying like a baby.
South London in the building. I'm the fucking headliner. And you slammed the mic.
Dropped the thing and then walked off stage. Was walking off, and as soon as I knew the cameras couldn't see me, took my pack off, smashed it. Was screaming at the sound team like, "What the fuck happened?" Like, bruv. At first it was anger. I'm saying, what the fuck happened? Bruv, and then I just started crying. Crying, bruv. I couldn't stop, bruv. I was crying like a baby, bruv. I was just crying. And I kept on walking around. I was saying, bruv, I was so ready. And I was just crying. And then Flips, which is, looking back at it, is so funny because all my friends and my family and my team ran over. Yeah. Like, because they're just thinking, yo, they watched the greatest shit of all the time. Like, so they're all running over, like, and then they're just seeing me crying. So, but they're thinking like, what the fuck? Till this day, like they're thinking
the emotion of it.
Right? They're thinking, oh, he must just be emotional. But I'm thinking, and Flips is like to me, like he's just looking at me thinking, bruv, it was cool. Like it was definitely cool.
So when did you know it was good? Did you have to watch it back?
I had to watch it back.
Yeah.
So Emily Evis came over and bought me the memory stick. We plugged it in and watched it back. After like 10 minutes, I was like, okay, cool. 20 minutes, I was like, it's not bad. 30 minutes, I was like, all right, he's all right, he's doing all right. Then after an hour, I was like, fucking hell, thank God. But do you want to hear the maddest thing about all of that, yeah? Before I went on stage, we was all praying. Me and my whole team was praying. And then I phoned my mum before to pray for me. And I phoned my mum and I was like, yo, mum, let's say a prayer on the phone. My mum was just praying for me. And then I asked her, I was like, Are you gonna watch the performance? She was like, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, you gotta watch it. She was like, I don't know. Like, she was like, I need to go to church, innit? I was like, all right, cool. Like, she was like, I'm just gonna watch the first bit, then go to church. I was like, all right, cool. So then she's prayed for me, and then I haven't spoken to her. So she didn't even know about the sound problems. And then I got to church on a Sunday. So Glasgow was on a Friday. Got to church on a Sunday to tell my testimony to the church. And I told the church, like, yo, little does everyone know I had these sound problems, and like the church I'm getting the hallelujahs and the amens. They're saying, wow, thank God. And then my mum just looked so emotional in her face. And I was thinking, what's wrong, mum? And she's like, you don't even know that, like, her pastor had a vision that, the pastor phoned my mum and said, we need to go to church. My mum was like, why? He was like, because he's had this vision that there was loads of people like critiquing my Glasto performance. He had this vision. There was loads of bad reviews about Glasto, like worst Glastonbury of all time, no. And then he was like, how there was a stamp saying like decline. And he was like, he would call my mum and it was like, we need to pray. Like, we need to pray over this performance. So I literally think the timing of it, my mum would have watched the first like 5 minutes, left for church, and then got to church as soon as I was having technical difficulties. And she was praying all night. She was doing like an all-night Virgil. She was praying all night. And she couldn't believe it. She was almost in tears. Like when I told the testimony, she was almost in tears. She was like, bruv, imagine. She was like, little did we know you was going through all of that. She was like, no one could tell that you was going through all of that. And she was there praying that. So I always say like, that Glasto performance was God. That was that, because till this, I'm just a human, like sound problems, I can't hear, like I couldn't hear shit. So even there's a part in my performance, which if you look back, Dave's talking, like when I brought out Dave, and Dave's like, Dave's saying to me, bruv, I love you. And I'm just there like, I'm thinking I can't hear what the fuck he's saying. Like, all I can see is his, I'm just like, thank you. I'm thinking, bruv, I can't. So, bruv, I just say that was like, that was God, man. I couldn't control it. That was like an out of body experience. That.
But the other co-star of Glastonbury was that vest itself. I read that Banksy.
Yeah,
made
Banksy.
That for you. How did that come about?
And he did the album cover.
He did the album cover, right?
No, he didn't do. So
he did.
The vest is the vest is. He didn't do the album cover. No, but bruv, God again. So like I had the pleasure of like of interacting like with him and his team and like and
So people that don't know, tell the world who he is.
Banksy, he's the greatest, most iconic living artist on planet Earth.
And mysterious, right?
Yeah, and yeah, no one knows who he is. No one knows like who she is. No, like no one like his art just appears. And like if you don't know Banksy, you just one Google.
But how does Stormzy connect with that?
God, man,
entity.
I swear to you. So we had the pleasure of connecting, and then I was just going through life, and bearing in mind I didn't even have my stylist is right there, Mel. We didn't have we had outfit options, but I just trusted like was just gonna figure out outfit like towards like the last couple of weeks, just coasting through, and then one of his assistants has like hollered, saying, "Can he have your details?" I was like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, of course. Take my details. Bruv, I just got a message like saying, yo, I don't know what you're wearing at Glastonbury, but
wow.
And he had sketched out this vest. He was like, I don't know what you're wearing, but if you'd like to wear this. And I said, bruv, what? This is like us, that's all God. Like I always look at my career and some of the things that happen, I say, this is too good to I'm in situations, I'm in positions, I'm in scenarios where I think, if this ain't the grace of God, then I don't know what the hell it is, because I had no outfit. And then the greatest living artist on planet Earth, he doesn't do costumes, he doesn't do designs, he does art. He says, yo, Glastonbury, like you're the biggest stage you're ever gonna be on, your defining moment.
He already had a vision for you of what you should.
He had a vision,
look,
literally, and he was like, would you like to wear this? And I was like, yeah, it was the
and
crown jewel on the
symbolism to it, right? Can you explain?
Yeah. So it's a stab-proof vest. Mm-hmm. So of course,
stab-proof.
Stab-proof. Yeah. So in London, there's a lot of knife crime. There's a knife crime issue. Do you know what I mean? So it was like he wanted to highlight the fact that like me as a young Black British artist on this stage, like in front of the world, and like kind of saying. And carrying like our burden of like these are like I'm gonna bring awareness to our issues, and like he already knew that I was gonna have a very culturally important show, and he just wanted to add to that. So yeah, man.
So where's the vest now?
The vest is locked away. That vest is locked away. That vest is locked away. He let me keep it as well. So like,
wow.
I can't, bro. Till this day, I can't like I can't. I always say that's God. I always feel like it was God. Like I was just walking through life and Banksy came like and a vest appeared. It felt like, you know, like King Arthur, Excalibur with the sword and the sword. That's what it felt like. It felt like the crowning moment. So yeah.
Because you talked about that on one of the records. You said
Audacity. Yeah. When Banksy put the vest on me, felt like God was testing me. Because I felt like, bro, what's going like what is, and even the Jigga intro. Like there were so many pieces to
the conversation you had.
But there were so many pieces, like the Jigga intro, Chris Martin, Dave, and Fred. Like I look back at that performance and I say like, like for me, like not in an arrogant way, I say this is flawed. Like that was everything I wanted to do. Like I looked at Beyonce's Coachella set in terms of like a flawless, phenomenal performance, and like having so many input. And I said, yo, like I can't do Beychella, innit? My knees don't work like that. Do you know what I mean? I said I ain't doing that. Do you know what I mean? But I said like I need my own crowning moment. Do you know what I mean? And I look at every piece of it and I say, bruv, like this.
Even Adele gave you props too.
Yeah, of course. Right. Yeah. Which is you can't make this shot.
One final thing on Glastonbury, I thought it was cool too. Even though it was your moment. You must have broke the record with shout-outs, man. You shouted out like... Somebody said you shouted out 65
Yeah,
artists,
I think it was 65 or 58.
Is that off the head? Like, is this influences?
No. So this is... Do you know so funny? I had to record all the names. This is the big reveal, because people ask me this all the time. How do you remember all those names?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't remember no fucking names. So I recorded all. I did like a voice note of like AJ Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Little Sims.
you had a rhythm to it.
Yeah. But because my sounds like I have no sound. So the thing is like, bruv, I'm talking like when I look back at it, I can see the. So it's like AJ Tracy, Little Sims,
Like, do you know what I mean? I'm proper. And I missed out so many names as well.
Really?
I probably missed out about 12 names, like, because I couldn't hear shit. Like, I couldn't hear nothing.
Oh, in the
like,
rhythm to the rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay,
And it was just super low. Like, it was meant to be like very loud in my ears, and it was like when your in-ears blow, it was giving me like that flipping like 1 decibel of volume. So I had to just proper tune in. I thought I was gonna fucking ruin that moment, like, and I had to just proper tune in and listen and that. And that's why to me, when I listen back, there's a tempo to it that it irks me. Because it's like, and it's like I'm trying to figure out, and I was like, yeah,
Why was it important to do? Like, why did you want to?
That was definitely one of the most important moments for me, because I've always like being up on that stage, and it's coming back to this blackness thing and black Britishness. There's always been this thing of allowing one person in at a time. That's what like. That's how things have kind of been set up back home. Where
it's your moment to shine, but nobody else can shine.
There's always like one act who's allowed to have the commercial success. One black act come through, like at Dizzy, at Tiny, and then Tinchy, and I was like, no, like now that I'm this kind of prominent figure, like I've become this kind of household name, and a lot of my country look at me as like the black rapper, or the black guy, not in a disrespectful way, but like for a perfect example is like a primetime television show, like a Jonathan Ross or something. Like I'll be the rapper, like as in there's not many.
Who do you book?
Yeah. There's not many like I have the opportunity. Like I've kind of thank God I've kind of transcended into like a mainstream commercial space where. But I always say to myself, it's not just me. Like I can't get to Glasgow and act like it's just me. Like there are so many people who could have headlined, should have headlined, but who came before me, and there's people who should headline who come after me. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I've kind of got this duty, and I've held this duty for long, and I've kind of stand by it where I say, I'm not the only black guy. You can't act like I'm the only black guy. Like I'm not the only rapper. Like it's not just me. Like it's like, bruv, there's a whole incredible host of black British musicians, rappers, artists who are here. They exist. They're prominent. Do you know what I mean? Like J Hus, there's Dave, and there's Mo Stack. And they're prominent figures. Like I get that I'm maybe the more like. Mainstream kind of like, I don't know, like Capital Radio, do you know what I mean? Like, but I say we're just as important as each other. Like we're kind of arm in arm, and importantly as well, there's people who came before me who could have headlined, should have headlined, but they haven't because of how, do you know what I mean? How the system's kind of played out, and I'm only here because of them, because of their sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? So your Wileys, your Dizzy Rascals, your Skeptors.
He's the first one you shouted out. And
Yeah. Because there's no. I can't be like. Do you know what I mean? Wiley wouldn't have had the chance to headline Glastonbury, but I can't headline Glastonbury without them. Do you know what I mean? They're biting the bullet. They bit the bullet for to allow. Artists like myself to have commercial success.
So how do we go from Wiley Flow after that? You paying homage to him again,
right?
To this back and forth battle. You guys have like the rap clash of 2020. Like there's so many back and forth records between you and Wiley. Like how did we get to this point?
I think, do you know what? The more I speak about it, the more I think. At first, like, the more I think maybe Wiley is just future, like, because he is very. One thing about Wiley, he's very selfless. Yeah, and now the more I think about it, the more I think, I can't lie, since this happened, I've felt like it's been a very personal attack, and I've kind of taken it like, that's why I came back like kind of venomous. Like. But the more I talk about it, and the more I see a clip of him earlier today, and it's him talking about, he needs to war, I need to war, like, I always need to war, and if that one's writing bars and that one's writing bars, and he's and he naturally, I think he always just wants to bring out the best in people. Like he is definitely a fucking troll. He loves to troll. He loves to troll people, and he's naturally like that by nature, innit? But the more I think about it, the more I think he probably
freestyles every day.
Yeah, he probably just thought, okay, Storms, you're having a lot of commercial success. You're like. You're a mainstream act now.
You're in there,
and I gotta keep you on your toes. Like, do you know what I mean? But of course, me being who I am and like me thinking, bruv, I'm fucking busy. Stop, leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? I didn't receive it like that, but I don't know. I think I've as I said, bruv, this is gonna be the 100th time I said it. Like nothing. I've always paid him the utmost respect and homage and love and all of that. But
is that why the whole term disappointment is the most fitting?
Yeah, that's why it was. It was disappointed. It was like, I said, I'm not mad. I'm just more disappointed in it. But I feel like he's been saying it a lot on Twitter. He's like, he done this like to show like the system that like we can control our own thing. And the more as time goes on, I think maybe he was doing it because of that. But of course, like, do you know what I mean? A lyrical war. Yeah. While you're trying to flipping do your album and you're trying to focus on your album.
Yeah, how you doing like Jimmy Fallon? And you're worried about making a verse for Jimmy Fallon.
With the video.
It's not the most convenient
what's in the cup? Is that some tea?
That's coffee. Listen, we was up working.
I never see nobody with lyrical venom with some coffee. And
we was up working, man. We was up working. But I think that's what, I think, and that's the nature of grime, innit? It's a competitive sport. And I think maybe he looked at me and thought, rah, like, you can't be the top guy and not compete, you know. I think maybe he thought that, right? Like, because even I've got lyrics now where I say I'm the king of grime and like I'm bossy with it and I say I'm this and I've sold that, and, you know. He probably heard all of that and thought, like, you can't be the gaffer without like spraying, you know what I mean? So then he come for me and you know, and I thank him because, do you know what I mean? We put on a show, do you know what I mean? And he brought out. He did, to be fair, he brought out something that a lot of people don't know already is natural and exists in me. But I'm
saying, why did you choose to engage? Was that did you talk to your team? Like, why did you know that you wanted to respond and engage him once he started with you?
Because it was Wiley. It was Wiley, and to be fair, I've aired a lot of like. I call him little fish. Like I've aired a lot of
the audacity. The audacity.
Yeah. And also, I like. Because even in grime, like, there's all this, like someone sends you, and I say, listen, come on, we can't be fast tracking it. Like, you know, if there's a top boy and you're, you know what I mean, you can't just, and then I'm going
to the top.
No. You got to do your rounds, innit? But because it was Wiley and like, and I was thinking, I'm at this stage in my career, like, I'm as I said, albums. I want to make albums. Right. I want to make bodies of work. I want to carry on being an artist who makes incredible albums. And you got Wiley, who is the godfather, the pioneer of my whole genre, sending for me. And of course, the natural essence of what I do. I'm a grime MC originally. Like that's my DNA. Yeah. The natural essence of what we do is we spar. We grab the mic, we spar like that, and that's nothing new to me. At all. That's where I'm most comfortable. Little does everyone. I think like because of the melody and like,
and all that.
Yo, I'm most comfortable in conflict. I'm very comfortable with conflict. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm at this stage of my career. I got him sending for me, and then of course being like that guy, it's like with Drake, you know, like when you're that guy. So when someone comes through, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, if you're the, you know what I mean? So like you got, and that noise is loud. Like, what are you gonna do? And I was thinking,
the whole world's watching.
And I was thinking, yo, like this, I'm most comfortable here. I don't mind engaging.
But now that you are here, because like listening to the album, which is really dope, you know, like. I listened to a record like Bronze and Audacity. You have these lines where you talk about like you had no cosigns to get in here. These gatekeepers, you know, they're pricks. What was it like for those early years for Stormzy? Were you being embraced by the OGs or people that were in positions of power?
Yeah, at first I was. Like probably like for the first year I was being embraced, like because it was easy to embrace. I was just the young kid coming through, young MC, the young hot MC. It was easy to embrace me, and then. Yeah, I felt the embracement and the love and the support and all of that, and the kind of I felt it disappeared quite quickly. Do you know what I mean? Because I grew quite quickly, to be fair. So I couldn't.
Like what was some of those early records or moments? Like was it the Ed Sheeran collaboration? Like when did you feel it shift?
No. That would
be earlier. Though,
right? Do you know what it is? It's so mad because the Ed thing. Like you see, like me working with Ed, and like Ed's my brother. Like that's my brother, bona fide.
Got you on that watch game, I heard.
Bruv, he's the reason I'm a bruv. He's giving me a bad habit. Do you know it's the greatest habit, to be fair? But he's got me addicted. But like to be fair, like me and Ed's relationship and me like becoming this more commercial, like commercially viable mainstream act or whatever. Like that was way after like I had all of that kind of that. To be fair, the reason why I'm more like fucking stand next to Ed or stand him out like stand next to Little Mix is because I was getting that way before it. I was getting it way before it. So then, so I thought, wow, what the fuck? Like, I'm gonna get it anyway.
It's my next step.
No, I just thought I'm gonna get it anyway. People are gonna throw, like I did, funny enough, you lot probably don't know this, but Shut Up even, like there was like a kind of weird thing with Shut Up where like, Shut Up is a grime freestyle, and then because it got so massive, but Shut Up, and I was like, bruv, that's it's your classic. It's too popular now. It's too mainstream now. So that's what happened to me very early on. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I was able to. I grew very quickly, which made a lot of the like maybe the people who were embracing me at the beginning.
Because on Audacity, you say, you know, Rude Boy, I came and shook my whole era.
Yeah, exactly. Which like, and I came through. I shook, and it's this weird thing where, of course, like I'm the young kid, and as I said, it's like the Glasto thing. I reap a lot of benefits that the older generation had to bite the bullet for me. Do you know what I mean? So I understand it. I understand that they can, like, I have a lot of benefits and rewards that a lot of them wouldn't have got, but not even in a negative way. I'm not saying that in like a disrespectful way. It's just they had to bite the bullet for me, and that's why I'm always so respectful of them. Because I understand you lot done this. All of this, everything I have.
They opened doors.
You lot opened the door for me.
But why were you so determined to kick these doors down extra hard? Like, it seems like you've always said like you want to like have that balance, that you embrace it. You'll say pop boy, like you're going for the mainstream thing. But you also want people to respect the art, these bars.
100%.
Like, I'll still cut you down. Like you said,
100%.
I'm gonna clap back if you come at me.
Exactly.
Like, why was it important for you to take on that challenge of being like the elite and have that balance of both?
I don't know. Before I was a musician, when I look at like other artists, that's the career I wanted. I said I want to be both. I always thought I don't want to sacrifice either for the other one. Like I want to, like the perfect career. Like if I said what career could I have, it would be to be a respected musician, a respected barrer, lyricist, spitter, a successful act, an act that gets played everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I thought, why can't I have the full spectrum? Do you know what I mean? And even it's jokes because Wiley tweeted me one time. He was like, you can't. He said you can't be sorry, you can't be underground if you're a pop star or something like that.
Exactly.
And I was like, I hear it because it's being like commercially viable, you lose a certain underground essence.
I used to like Stormzy's old shit.
Exactly. You used to like Stormzy's. Listen, bruv. And I've been getting that from the get go. Do you know what I mean? So, but I always felt like, nah, I'm not really hearing that.
Yeah.
I just took no for an answer. Cause and again, I've said it before, but I had the pleasure of watching everybody who came before me, and I watched their mistakes, watch what they done right, watch their wins, watch where they did very good, and watch where they didn't do quite so well. So coming in, I was kind of hell-bent on being the artist who has commercial success without sacrificing my credibility, because the people before me sometimes had to do that. That's not a disrespect to them. That's not but as in the times they were living in, they couldn't be they couldn't be Audacity and Wiley Flow because they didn't have that luxury, because they were breaking down the door. They had to sacrifice a bit of like whatever to make like a pop hit. But that's because they had to. They didn't have the room to like be greasy with it or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So they done that so that now there can be a Stormzy who he can have a pop hit, but he can fucking, do you know what I mean? Like drop an Audacity as well. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully, all the things I'm doing now and all the things that me and my fellow artists are doing, in 10 years, like there's gonna be a grime #1 that isn't Take Me Back to London. Do you know what I mean? With me and Ed. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's me and Ed.
That's the old prototype.
That's what we did. We came together. Yeah. We made a fucking smash hit song, a #1 song with Tate, and then hopefully with what I've done and what like me and my peers are doing, like that hopefully gives room where they don't need to link up with Ed on a grime rhythm for a grime-esque rhythm to beat. Do you get what I mean? Right. Like, yeah.
So once we talk about grime, once we talk about grime though, hip hop, and sometimes there's a divide with the American audience in the UK, right? Yeah. And I think it's interesting that you've always said you're an MC. Mm-hmm. Like you take that seriously, that DNA about bars and lyrical, even from the age of like 11, and that you was sharp as that, and you had to grow actually to learn how to be a full artist. Mm-hmm. Like, why is it important to be an MC? Like have that true essence as an MC?
That's always got to be my first and foremost. Like, and do you know what it is? Because I'm so dedicated to art and being an artist and my musicality and being a musician and bodies of work and albums and a lot of things that like kind of transcend being an MC, like production and sound quality and all of these things. And I became very hellbent on that. And with being hellbent on that, it always reminds me that if you're gonna be relentless there, make sure you're always an MC, because that's who you are first and foremost. Like, do you know how I explain it? Like, if Kendrick was here today, like I can show him incredible music, but he needs to know I'm a barra. He needs to know I can. Do you know what I mean? Like I need to rap. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I always say like, first and foremost, I am an MC. I've always got to be coming nice. That can't be second to anything. So yeah, I think I've just always known that's important. Like you look at your greats, like your Jiggers, your Kanye's, your Kendricks, and they've been coming nice for all their lives. Do you know what I mean? No matter what, like left turn they made or right turn they made or musical, like artistic direction they took, they were always coming nice. They were always rappers. The bars were always like on point.
Mentioning some legends, man. Going back to Heavy as Head, I read that you hooked up with Pharrell for the album, but nothing came out of it.
Yeah, nothing came out. Yeah, not just the most natural as it does that. I always say like as artists, this is what sometimes probably the public doesn't understand. Music is just a very spiritual, soulful, magical thing where, listen, sometimes it just don't work. Like, I can get in a room with the greatest artist in the world, the greatest producer, and it just might not click. That is no testament to who I am. That's no testament to their ability.
We're both still great.
It just don't. Sometimes it just don't
and it's
work.
Power in recognizing that, right?
Exactly.
Instead of forcing it, putting out a bad collaboration just to say.
And I always said like, bruv, I'll be damned if I leave the studio with Pharrell with a bad song. Yeah. Because of the sake of just, I said, you're mad, like, yo, man, them like, bruv, I got this tune with Pharrell, press play, and it's not that good because like and I was like, that's just mute. And I'm sure every artist, if we got like all the legendary artists on planet Earth, they would have a story about them getting in a room with someone else who's an incredible artist and it not working. Like, there's the famous story of Adele and Rick Rubin. Adele is phenomenal. Rick Rubin is phenomenal. Like, they made records, but they like some of the records didn't make it, and that's just where it is. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's probably the equivalent of like
you and Jay-Z.
Yeah, me and Jigga, but more so like you know, like with like basketball or football, where you can get like LeBron and that person and that, and you put them in a team and sometimes it just don't work. Do you know what I mean? It don't gel because of whatever reason, and that doesn't take away from any of the individuals.
I thought it was interesting. 1 second you were saying with the song with her, 1 second that you knew right away. A lot of times people see US artists, UK artists, and that doesn't work.
It don't work.
It looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But you was able to make it work.
Oh, I'm so thank God as well, because I said like, I'm not into the business of just like, we just make a song because I'm who I am and you're who you are. Right. Music is way too precious to do that. I'm so precious with music. I'm so precious with my art. That's like, we can't just do this because you're that person and I'm that person. That don't make sense. This needs to make a beautiful music sense. Like, as in, we need to we need to be at service to the art. Whatever the best idea is wins. That's a Kanye quote that I always live by, and I live by it during my first album, and I'll live by it till the day I die. The best idea wins. If someone can sing that specific hook, like that line that like carries that person's got a certain like rasp in their voice that
better than a real singer or whatever.
Better than I don't know, like whoever the most popular singer is. I gotta go with that. Like whatever makes the truth, like whatever makes the art sound better and the truth and the music sound better. Yeah.
On that 1 second record too, I thought it was a real poignant line where you say you take a stand and you don't care about ruining your brand.
Yeah.
Like what makes you so fearless in that regard?
Purpose. Like, thank God I got purpose. So anything I do, I don't care for the ramifications. And thank God I got an incredible team who, do you know what's so mad? You know, in my career, like, for all the things I've done, and I know people, like, and I've seen people sometimes tweet me, like, I know Stormzy's team must be like running around the office. Listen, whenever you think Toby, like my manager there, Toby, you think he phones me like, if I want to flames up some fucking racist newspaper about them doing some shit, he don't phone me about nothing.
Yeah, you beefing with like 2 prime ministers,
Listen, bro, if I want to flames up the prime minister.
If I want to beef with the prime minister.
He don't like, man, just say, because I got purpose and like, I got God and I know I'm not just doing it for the sake of like, I'm doing it because I should and because that's kind of what I feel in my heart. Like I listen to my heart a lot and I know what to do. So yeah, man, I got the strength and the faith to do it.
Speaking of team, who's Twin B, man? This guy changed
Twin
your
B,
life.
he's the fucking genius. He's over there. He's fucking genius.
You like Jigga and Leor?
Yeah. We're just like, to be fair, Twin taught me like a lot.
He's your A&R.
Yeah. But more than that, he's like my mentor. Yeah. And he's like, so even the way I talk now and how I'm able to articulate myself about my music, and like even, you know, when I use the word truth in music a lot and like being at service to the art and whatever like that's a lot. I learned that from Twin. So it's like I met Twin when I can't even remember. I was younger, but I met Twin and I was like a raw type with all these ideas and no. And then since then he's just mentored me and guided me and taught me a whole, like, as in I couldn't be the musician I am today without him just planting all these seeds of knowledge and challenging my approach to music and challenging my ideas and challenging my thoughts. Do you know what I mean? And I've always had someone to sharpen my iron against. Do you know what I mean? Someone to marry, like, this is what I'm thinking, and then say, okay, but have you thought about that singer?
Right.
Why? Because like listen to her voice on this record, like where she sings this line and hear the pain and I'm like, of course, yeah, let's use her. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all these, I've been taught a whole world of knowledge and musicality that I didn't even know I could articulate. Do you know what I mean? So even now when I talk to younger artists and they ask me things, like a lot of the things I tell them is just stuff I've learned from Twin. That.
But if Twin shaped your perspective, like on Crown, you talked about how like if you knew your story, you'd be horrified by it.
Yeah.
What is your story?
My story
South London?
South London. Yeah, the story of just
Rachel's little brother.
Rachel's little fucking brother. Like literally. Shout out to Rachel, like, like proper, like, as in, like,
that's your OG.
That's my OG. That's like,
she
literally.
get mad shout outs on Handsome.
She's a DJ too, right?
Bruv, do you know what is my sister who used to, listen, my sister's like, it's funny, because you know, like, in the hood, you have like a big brother or a big cousin, like, and because like all the dons in the hood respect him, you get like love and respect, and people look after you, little man, bruv. Mine was my big sister. Listen, I personally see my big sister punch up there. What? What? Oh, Rachel, Rachel probably won't even like that now, innit? She's a new woman now. She's a new woman. She's in a new space now. Yeah, listen, go flames are up with it. But no, like I used to walk from primary school, like, so my primary school was right next to her secondary school, and I used to walk there, and I'll be little Junior, and all their brethren, Junior, like, and they come rub my cheeks and that, getting bare love from all these, like, at the time I was probably like 10, they're like 16, and I'm just Rachel's little brother. Junior, you're so cute, and then they're just basking in it, like. Yeah. And then and then I'll walk to the park with them, and then my sister will have a fight. I used to watch her flipping. Listen, my sister can fight, but she's
in the past.
This is in the past, yeah. But so all the like growing up, like I was Rachel's little brother, like and I had a lot of love and respect, and people used to look after me because I was Rachel's little brother. But yeah, that's just my story is just that, like Rachel's little brother, South London, just that. It's so mad because it's so normal to man, like how we grew up, just hood rats. Like,
you said you was a troublesome. You had a desire for war and do better.
Yeah. But it's mad because that's not an alarm bell to anyone from where I live. Like it was just your young. It's like your classic story of young, reckless antisocialness that you don't even realize how bad it was until you're a grown man. So it's like, for example, a fight, like me and my friends beating someone up, like we call it rushing. You guys call it jumped, like jumping someone. Yep. Us rushing someone was, that's like drinking water. That's like drinking water. Like we're rushing him or robbing someone. That's like flipping. That's nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it was just your daily occurrences of just a young fucking of your environment. Do you know what I mean? And I was very much a product of mine, and I just basked in it, to be fair. Like, we used to love it. That's why it's so mad. Like, I look back on it now and I'm like, fucking hell, like, weren't we tired? Like, even we would stand in the cold all night, like, billing it, like, chatting shit.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, bruv, as soon as it's cold, I need heated seats. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is mad out here. Like, but we used to just bask in it. We used to bask in trouble, in antisocial behavior, in recklessness, a desire for war. Like, even doing a funny thing is now, yeah. You see, as a grown man, you see all the, like, growing up, how we grew up, we was very caged off to the world and society in terms of we didn't know how to act. A lot of our behavioral patterns and our attitudes were very warped, you know what I mean? So even, it's only now that as a grown man, like obviously in the recent years of my life, where you see even going to a party, like, and getting drunk and like being like waved, like even flips over there, like that's don't get twisted, of course, we're well versed in it now. We know how to fucking turn up now. But like coming into my career, that was a new thing. You see, like walking into a party and getting drunk and being on good vibes and being woo, like, and just enjoying everyone. That was a new thing because growing up, we used to go parties on like a very, like, you have your shank in your pocket, like there will be 10 of us, we'll go to the party, like, and we're not going there to party. No one's going there to dance. We're just going there to stand in the back and wait for youths to come.
Wait for the problem.
Wait for the problem. We're just always all walk to the chicken shop and like there's just a tense energy that at the time you don't even know what it is. Like, you don't even know that, like, bruv, hang on, that's mad anxiety. Like, do you know what I mean? Like there's little youths out there with mad anxiety that they don't even know. It's just a tenseness that someone runs over and do you know what I mean? It's just a very alarmed, a very alert, like, so.
How big is South London? Because Dave's from South London.
Yeah, South London's big. South London's big enough for me to not know someone from South London. You get what I mean? Gotcha. Yeah. But Dave's from round the corner from me.
Oh, wow.
Like, literally round the corner.
I saw somewhere you said the Own It record, the session of that's you, Ed Sheeran, and Burna Boy. But that may have led to the Dave Burna Boy location.
Yeah, I think it did.
Song?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't want to say that as a fact, but I'm sure. No, it did, because that day, so it was me, Burna, and Fred in the studio. Fred's the producer. And I was on FaceTime to Dave, because I'm sure that was the week of his album. That was the week he released Psychodramas, or he was about to release it, or maybe it was Funky Friday, actually. And I was talking to Dave on FaceTime, and then Fred FaceTimed Ed.
Fred and Ed.
Fred FaceTimed Ed.
Ed Sheeran. Yeah.
And then, so I'm talking to Dave, and then I'm like, yo, Ed, look, it's Dave. And then they're like, oh, what's going on? And then it's like, yo, Burna, like, meet Dave.
Burna
and
Boy.
Then,
wow.
And then they started talking. So then I think, I'm sure they
Dave's
met.
location.
And then Dave's location, and then fucking.
That's a big record.
That's a massive record. That tune's, all right, listen, that's a classic timeless song that they made there.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, a lot of artists, like from the Drakes to even locally here, like Pop Smoke and those kind of artists embracing this, like, UK inflections in their raps? What do you think about that?
I think it can only be a positive. I think we as Brits and UK culture, we've got to make sure that we're doing everything we can, and we got to make sure we're being the most prominent. Do you know what I mean? Like at what we do. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that can only be a positive. Yeah. I guess the negative thing from it is that if no one does the work, if nothing comes of it, then it's just always a cosign or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, just a nod to y'all.
Yeah, it's just a nod. So it's always like as long as we can stay making incredible music and staying prominent, then yeah, of course, like a Pop Smoke doing the drill record, Drake doing, do you know what I mean, embracing the culture and the sound. Yeah. Then as soon as eyes come onto us, we're ready. Do you know what I mean? We've got the albums, we've got the bodies of work, we've got the tunes, we got the shows that, like, say if an American does look at Pop Smoke and looks at Drake and says, all right, Rob, what's them Brits doing? And then cool, they look over, we're ready. Do you know what I mean? And like we're the Avengers assemble, that kind of thing. Yeah, man.
What about like a mainstream appeal here in America? Like I know you talked about like you're not really so interested in it, but like is that appealing to you or?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, thank God. Like thank God it ain't, because
it's humbling though, because if you headline at Glastonbury, you do like maybe a small kind of intimate arena.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's like, don't get twisted. I want to tour here forever. Like I always want to be able to come to America. And
so you know about these sales?
Oh, I heard about them.
Nah, it's just
how's
not bad.
How's this tour looking?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
2020 Stormzy. You did like 100K pre-sale, something like that.
That's crazy.
How many did we do first day? How many tickets? It was like 100 and
a lot.
It's like, is it 120,000?
Like 120,000 tickets and
on pre-sale.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Arenas.
Yeah, thank God, man, thank God.
When does the tour kick in? When does it begin?
7th February in Dubai, and then finishes October 10th in Lagos, Nigeria. Woo. So yeah.
Do you feel like pack a bag, man? Let's go.
I'm saying, do you feel like an international rap star?
Now I do, thank God, because of the tour,
right?
Because of the tour, which again is a true
so
testament.
That even impressed you, the level that it is.
Listen, that's a testament to my team. I swear, I said to Toby, my manager, I said it to him some point last year. I don't even know when, but I'm so blessed with this murky team I got over here. I'm so blessed. I say something and it happens.
It's just come true.
I say something
some
and it happens.
That become reality.
If I say something right now and I say, yo guys, we need to do some rest, it will happen. I can plant the seed and I got enough incredible people around me to make it happen. So I said to Toby, look, I had the conversation once. I said to him, yo, as we got to do a world tour. He was like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, no, but like a proper, I was like, we got to do Africa. I was hellbent. I said, we have to do Africa. It's not a world tour without Africa. We got to go Africa and Asia. I was like, so, and then I just got a text from him like a couple months ago, and it was the artwork of like the whole fucking tour. I was like, all right, cool, we're going on tour then, innit? Like, so and even though I looked at the thing and it shocked me, I was like, fucking, like, there was no discussion of, all right, so we're doing America. It was just, he said, what you want a world tour? All right, cool. And he went and got me a fucking world tour. And he sent me the artwork. And I looked at it and I thought, rah, shit, what they know me there, yeah? Like, so it was humbling for me. Like, I was thinking, I didn't, how many dates is it in America?
A lot of dates.
I had no idea that I could tour like that in America. I thought, I knew I could do New York. I could do in LA, Toronto, like in Canada.
But main cities.
But it's like, it's 10 plus dates. It's like how much is it? It's like 13, 14, 15. It's like a whole tour, you know. It's a full size tour.
And there's so much high energy out there, right? I mean, we talked about Glastonbury, but just your shows in general, like high energy, shirts coming off.
I always say, I feel like I've got one of the must-see shows on planet Earth. I say that wholeheartedly. Like I always feel like, when it comes to my art and my performances and what I do, I always think I work hard on it, and I always have a level of excellence that allows me to sit here and say, listen to my incredible album, come and see me on my incredible tour. So yeah, my tours are always, I always say I've got like one of the must-see shows on planet Earth, like in terms of energy, in terms of musicality, like a Stormzy show is an incredible one, yeah. I put myself in that top tier. Yeah. That's why I look at Beyonce and I say, bruv, I look at Beyonce, I say, she is the greatest on earth.
Yeah.
And this is coming from, I like to think I'm quite good at what I say I'm not too bad at this performance thing. And I watch her and I say, nah, there's levels to this shit, bruv. That is like, bruv, yeah, man. Ridiculous. But yeah, I always say that, come and see a show if you can, yeah.
We're gonna catch you on that road, Stormzy.
Please do, brother.
Absolutely.
Please do.
Wish you continue success, man.
Thank you very much, man.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You wear it quite well, sir.
Amen.
I agree.
Amen. Thank you for having me, man. It's an honor as well, man.
Stormzy, congrats, brother.
Rap Radar Podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast, we done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.